Hello, welcome to Monthly Horoscope. I will be analyzing the planetary movements for October. September was astrologically a very busy month. There were many opportunities for starting new businesses, leveling up your relationship status, and improving your financial state. The sky and planets were helping us achieve those things, but starting from October, we have a retrograde Venus. Venus is the planet of relationships, beauty, creativity, finances, and diplomacy. So when Venus goes into retrograde, that means that all of those things will be struggling. Throughout all of October, Venus will be in Scorpio and she feels uncomfortable in Scorpio. So it's not a good position for her. Scorpios are perfectionists and Venus will try to make things perfect. But because she's in retrograde, she's in weak position. At the same time, during all of October, she is squaring Mars and is in opposition with Uranus. Since Venus is the planet of beauty, it's not recommended to do plastic surgery or change your image radically because when Venus goes direct, you may dislike the changes you made and will have a hard time reversing the effects. It's also not recommended to do expensive shopping since you might not be satisfied with your purchase. Of course, during October, we have another relationship test. This can refer to relationships between business partners, friends, loved ones, and family. I'd also like to mention that until October 23rd, the Sun will be in Libra. What does the Sun in Libra want from us? It wants us to be diplomatic, social, communicative, and understanding because retrograde Venus in Scorpio makes us concentrate on just ourselves and our values. There will be an examination during this time period and what we want and what we are getting. Another keyword to this answer is diplomacy and creativity. The more creative you will be, the better you will solve the problem. So you need to use this creativity in your work, relationships, partnerships, and businesses. Retrograde Venus will negatively influence almost everyone except people who have retrograde Venus on their charts when they were born. They might use this aspect to improve their lives. We also need to mention that during the first week of October, Pluto will be going direct. It will start to go direct. During the month, it will create tension with the Sun. Next, let's talk about the full moon and new moon in October. The new moon is on October 8th, and the full moon we have on October 24th, according to the local time. Usually, the new moon is more positive. It's about new beginnings, but during this particular new moon, the Sun and Moon are both squaring Pluto. At the same time, Venus will square Mars, so their aspects features aggression and conflict. So be extremely careful during the new moon. On the full moon, the 24th, Venus will move closer to the Sun, and the Sun and Venus will be conjuncted. And both will be in opposition with the Moon and Uranus in Taurus. We may experiencing radical changes. Now let's talk about the individual days of October in order. As we said before, on October 1st, we have the Sun in Libra, which conjuncts Mercury in Libra. The Moon is in talkative Gemini. And so the beginning of October is harmonious. The only exception is the square between Mars and Venus. And these aspects will last the whole month. On October 2nd and 3rd, as soon as the moon moves from Gemini to Cancer, the moon will feel at home. But both Pluto and Saturn are in Capricorn and will make an exact opposition with the moon. So there could be pressure or conflict with your boss, supervisor, parent, or teacher. At the same time, this Cancer moon will make a nice trine with Jupiter and Venus, which are both in Scorpio. This will be a good time for lawsuits, but it's not recommended to start anything new because it's a waning moon. On October 5th in local time, Venus will go retrograde and won't go direct until November 16th. Until the end of the October, Venus will be retrograde in Scorpio, but in November, it will move to Libra. While Venus is in Scorpio, it won't be a good position for her. Also, the square with Mars and the opposition with Uranus will continue. On the 6th and 7th, we have a Virgo moon, and this moon will be in opposition with Neptune, which means that there could be a disappointment. Those 2 days will become more complicated with the square between the Sun and Pluto. On October 8th, we have the new moon. The Sun, Moon, and Mercury are in Libra, and both the Sun and Moon are squaring Pluto. On the 9th, Mercury is moving from the last few degrees of Libra into Scorpio. Our mind will become more sharp and analytical. Now we have Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter in Scorpio, and Mercury and Venus are in opposition with Uranus. So there could be unexpected changes in mind or in our situation. On the 10th and 11th, the moon will move in Scorpio, and 4 planets, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury are all in Scorpio. Everything related to Scorpios will become more demanding and powerful. On October 12th, we have a Sagittarius moon, which is in sextile with the Sun. This is a harmonious aspect, but because the moon is squaring with Neptune, we need to avoid manipulative people. On the 15th, the moon is now in Capricorn and is squaring the Sun and Uranus. On the 20th, the opposition between the Sun and Uranus will create lots of tension, especially when we have a Pisces moon, which is very sensitive, and we will directly feel this tension. This day is good for creative people to create something meaningful. On October 23rd, the Sun will move into Scorpio, and this will amplify the characteristic of Scorpios. We will become more sensitive, sensual, risky, very analytical, and will look for real things. Scorpios do not like anything fake. We are getting close to the full moon, and on October 24th, we have a full moon in Taurus. During this full moon, the Sun and Venus are getting very close to each other, and of course, Venus will be in opposition with the moon, and Mercury is conjuncted with Jupiter. On the 26th, we have an exact conjunction between the Sun and Venus. Venus in retrograde and conjuncting with the Sun will make it very weak during these days. October 28th is a more positive time. The moon is in Gemini, and people will become more social and communicative. And on the same day, we have an exact conjunction with Mercury and Jupiter. It's a very good day. Lastly, the final few days of October will be more harmonious. I hope that you will use this information to help guide you towards making the right decisions in October. Thanks for watching us. This was Monthly Horoscope.